can do that. But life is not rest, and life is not relaxation. If you work hard, you earn rest. If you work hard, you earn some relaxation, some entertainment. But you know, if you don't work, and you're just resting and relaxing, that's not the purpose behind life. So utilize the free time that you have. And in order to do that, you need to put your priorities. You need to manage your time properly. So if you've never made a schedule in your life, try to make a schedule. And what you're going to find is, when you make yourself a schedule, a daily schedule, what you would like to do, when you would like to wake up, you would like to pray. After prayer, what would you like to do? You'd like to read this much Quran, you'd like to read a little meaning, you'd like to go and get some rest again, you'd like to have breakfast, not exceed this much time. What you're going to find, you find yourself breaking the schedule a lot, because it's not consistent. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, he said, authentic hadith, إِنَّ أَحَبَّ الْأَعْمَالِ إِلَى اللَّهِ مَا دَامَ وَإِنْ قَلَّ. He said, the most beloved actions to Allah are those that are done consistently. وَإِنْ قَلَّ, even if they be few. Now think about this profound statement. He said, Allah loves the actions that are done consistently, even if they're less. So He doesn't want the one day where you just go all out. I'm going to pray 100 rak'ahs, and I'm going to recite the whole Surah Al-Baqarah in the prayer. No, He prefers that you keep it consistent. Now, why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love consistency? Why? Because consistency is, number one, it takes more self-discipline, so you get more reward for it. Number two, it has better results, right? If you want to exercise, and you realize, I'm getting overweight, I'm not really in shape, no girl's gonna marry me, something like that, brothers can understand this, right? Or sister, whatever it may be, I need to get in shape, I need to get on the treadmill, I need to start jogging and do elliptical exercise, or whatever it is. If you decide, you know what, I'm just going to do it. That one day, start that one day, I'm going to do, the whole day I'm going to exercise. And then I'm going to take a break for a month. And then I'm going to do that one more day, I'm just going to do the whole day, I'm just going to go all day. Is it going to work? It'll never work. It will never work. You have to be consistent. You can't just go and say, I want to run a marathon, so I need to start training. So you go, okay, I'm going to start running 10 miles. You'll be dead. You can't keep it up. Allah wants you to keep it up. Allah wants you to actually get some success. Same way in the physical realm, Allah wants your success in the spiritual realm. So one of the things you need to do is you need to be able to set your priorities, put first things first, and organize your time. I cannot emphasize or even overemphasize how important this is for young adults today. You have to be able to follow some type of schedule. You need to be consistent in your schedule, and you need to be strict in your schedule. Don't let it break all over the place, because then you'll break, you get depressed, and you need to learn how to overcome the depression when you make the schedule and it breaks. So one tip on this. If you realize that you just cannot keep with the timings, instead of organizing your time in slots, right? With exact time you're going to do this, exact time you're going to do that, organize certain slots and say something needs to be filled in here. Here's my list of things that need to be done today. I need to study, I need to pray, I need to read tafsir, I need to visit my family, I need to go and do this, whatever it may be. These things are here. This is how long each one takes. Then you put time slots here. This needs to be productive time. This is not socializing time, this is not entertainment time. And then you allow yourself to choose these tasks and you fill them into the slot however you feel like. So you don't feel like you're stuck in one mode and you have some flexibility in your schedule. So try this, inshallah, it might help. Number 3, be proactive. Be proactive in what you're doing. Everything you do, you have to be proactive. Now what does that mean, be proactive? Number 1, take control of your life and take responsibility for your own actions. This is what differentiates a youth from an adult. This is what makes the difference between a child and an adult. When we're in our teens, right? How many of you are in your teens, by the way? In teenage? Yeah, in your teens, right? When we're in our teens, or even by the time you hit 10 or 9 or whatever, most people, they want to act like an adult. They want to feel like an adult. They want to, I want to drive a car, and I want to be invited to the bigger parties, and I want to hang out with the bigger people, and all these things. But ask yourself, what is the difference between a child and an adult? It's really the level of responsibility that you have in your life. one of the main components of the amount of responsibility that you have. And if you don't act responsibly, then you may be 20 or you may be 30, but you're still acting like a child. So what makes you mature is the amount of responsibility. So you need to take responsibility for your life, and you need to not blame other people for the things that happen in your life. Don't blame, this person took up my time. Well, you know what? You're the one who did it. You know, I hate this Nintendo Wii. It's always just looking at me and just calling me out. You know, and it's, you know, and I'm gaining so much weight, and those chocolate brownies are just looking so good. You know, and they're just calling me from far away. No, take responsibility for your own actions. Be proactive and try and fix things yourself. So what did the Prophet, what did he tell us in this regard? Another authentic hadith. He said, مَنْ رَأَى مِنْكُمْ مُنْكَرًا. Whoever sees something bad, whoever sees some evil, some problem, whatever it is, فَلْيُغَيِّرْهُ بِيَدِهِ. The first thing you do, fix it yourself with your hand. You see somebody littering on the floor. Oh, you know, people litter nowadays, it's so bad. And then you walk by. No, pick it up and fix it. You see somebody else, someone's about to, you know, someone's picking on another little kid or something like that. You walk up, say, hey, what do you think you're doing? You know, that's with the tongue. But if you need to, you know, grab him or something like that, you know, don't be violent or anything. But, you know, just pull them away or save the kid or whatever it may be. Use your hand, meaning physically go and correct it. And then he said, فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِلِسَانِهِ. Now the Prophet, peace upon him, he knows. Someone's going to ask the question, oh Messenger of Allah, what if I can't fix it with my hand? You know, what if I'm not able to do so? He knows the question before you ask it, because he was an expert in psychology. Allah has chosen the right man for the job. He said, Allah, I can't do it. He said, فَإِن لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ فَبِلِسَانِهِ. فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِلِسَانِهِ. If you're not able to do it, then with your tongue. Fix it with your tongue. Means speak out against it. We can't just complain, oh, we're not able to do anything, all these problems in the Muslim Ummah, all this stuff. Speak up. Say something. When someone goes and, you know, people are being murdered, even locally, or they're being murdered in Syria, or they're being murdered somewhere else, speak up somewhere and open your mouth and say something. Now, the only way you can say something is if you know what's happening, right? If you're only following the Facebook and the Twitter of your friend, you don't know what's happening because you never read the news. You don't even know what's going on around you, so you don't know what's happening in your society. So know the issues that are taking place, the local issues as well, not just the international issues. Know what's happening in your society, and then speak up. Be proactive about it. When you're in a company, when you're working, when you're in a classroom, and you see something wrong, you see the teacher teaching something wrong, he happens to mention or she happens to mention something about Islam. Don't just sit there and say, oh, you know, they said, you know, the Muslims were just killing people left and right. Islam was spread by the sword. Oh, the Prophet had this many wives. Ha, 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 ha. Look what that means for the people. Don't just sit there. Speak up and say something. And if you don't know, say, you know, I'm going to go and I'm going to ask someone who knows. I'm going to come back next week and say, you know what? The stuff you were talking about, the trash you were talking about our religion, guess what? I have an answer for you. And you speak up. But the thing is, Muslims have been quiet for too long. And the thing is, our job is to convey this message. Our job is to deliver the message of Islam in everything, in every aspect of life. So if we're not doing that, we're not doing our job. And when we stop doing our job, look what's happened to the rest of the world. The rest of the world is going down. Why is it going down? Because they don't have guidance. They don't have people who are on the truth, who are standing for the truth. Now if you want to get to the truth, who gives you the truth better than the last message, the final message revealed by Allah? But if you have the truth and you're not acting upon it, you're not practicing it, you're not propagating it, you're not telling anyone, what's going to happen? You're going to be in trouble. So be proactive in everything you do. Don't blame other people for the actions that you do. Don't blame other people for the feelings that you have. Look at yourself, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help, and move on, move on. Okay? Number 4, when it comes to personal relationships with people, whether it be in school, whether it be in Isoc, whether it be at work, whether it be wherever it may be, create a win-win relationship. Okay? What does that mean? Create a win-win relationship? That means that every relationship that you engage in, whether it's with a Muslim or a non-Muslim, every type of interaction you have with somebody, you have the ability to define what kind of relationship you're going to have with that person. Whether it's a teacher, whether it's another student, whether it's an employee, whether, you know, whatever, maybe your boss. Define and construct a win-win environment where that both of you together will have mutually beneficial solution all the time. Meaning that whenever we work together, if one of us wins, the other one wins. If one of us loses, the other one will lose. Why is this so important? We live in a society of individualism today. And when you have excess individualism, you have concepts like social Darwinism still, having this shadow over our, thinking. We become so competitive that we think that if somebody else succeeds, we fail. And this is the wrong way to think about it. Just look at the Muslims. You can understand from the Muslims. Just look at the Muslims. There are so many places. I'm here in the UK for only about half a year or so. And just give you an example of Leicester. Okay? Interesting place, right? You have all these masajid everywhere. Like almost every block there's like a masjid next to each other. And the thing is, they don't look at it as a win-win. So when another masjid is there and they have a program, the other masjid decides we're going to have a program at exactly the same day, the same time, and you know what, we're going to do the same topic. So that no one goes to your program, they're going to come to our program. These are Muslims. These are masajid. If you have another masjid, does it mean that you lose if other people go to the other program? If you have a class on the life of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and they have a life of the class of the Prophet, peace be upon him, is somebody losing? Because if your goal really was to educate the Muslim Ummah, then you wouldn't have a problem with this, would you? If you had an understanding that, if this group, there's a MAB group, I don't know all the groups here, but whatever, all the, ISB and, all these different groups here, if they're doing more and more courses, some people come and they say, man, you know what, they already did that course, they're taking up our students and this and that. They're educating the Muslims. Your goal was to educate the Muslim Ummah. And now you're gonna get into the mentality where it's competition. If they go to that masjid, then our masjid is going to lose people. And if they go with that organization, ours is going to lose people. You have the ability to change that thinking, that way of thinking. So you need to construct a win-win strategy with everyone you're interacting with. Alhamdulillah, this person, it can give a good class. Then that will increase the amount of people who are interested in classes. And we can also give another class. We benefit, we can give a different class. It's the same thing when you're at work. Don't look at it as just competition between you and another person. When you're in school, don't just look at it as competition between you and other students. Unless you're being graded on a curve, then perhaps there's some room for that. But otherwise, just look at it. Look, if all the students come out good in Manchester University, your reputation of your school goes up. The rankings of your school will go up. Your degree will count more. Just look at it from that perspective, and you will be able to realize that, your relationships will be better. And now, when you see success in somebody else, rather than getting upset at their own success, you'll be happy. And you'll be happy that they have success as well, so you'll be able to maybe benefit from that somehow as well. So once you find some examples from the life of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Abu Dujana. Abu Dujana, may Allah be pleased with him.